want to go halfsies on a pizza party?
Pizza party, huh? What are we, 12?
Did someone say pizza?
So, Jeffrey, is it true what they say? That you have an egg-shaped penis?
Hey, it's more oval, like a perfectly normal potato.
Did someone say egg penis?
Hello, Jeffrey. Ghislaine.
Hello, Trump.
So, Jeffrey, I hear you have an egg-shaped penis.
I heard you suck Bill Clinton's cock. Damn you, Epstein! Damn you to hell!
Ghislaine, you're looking well.
That's sweet.
I'm throwing my own pizza party. A Jeffrey-free pizza party. Guess who's coming to my pizza party? Bill Clinton.
Pizza parties, right? They always cause a war. One person wants beef jerky, another wants cream cheese. And then half the time the pizza is too old.
Oh, wow. Thank you for coming to what a derp this will be. I'm coming off of a strike, so I haven't been around to derp with you guys. But I was doing Danny Jones' podcast, which is up today. I got to post the thing because I was too busy trying to finish this riveting episode of Epstein. But anyway, I'm doing this show. We were supposed to have Jamie Deluxe. He's coming this week sometime. We're going to make it work. And I'm also going to be at Soul Joel's March 27th if you're in the Pennsylvania area. We're bringing my guest who texted me to come on because, I don't know, I assume some development with giant NBA bones or something. How about it right now? I almost said clap it up. Dan from Dedunking. I got Dan back. What's up, man?
Hey, it's good to be here, Kurt. Thank you so much. Yes, I got the clap. It's terrible, but what do? You know?
You got the clap, you said? I say, oh, I see what you're saying. I'm just used to being a bad host on stage. We do tag team down here at the old mothership, which is LA style, and I hate that, dude, because I'm not a good host.
That tag team thing is actually how I got the clap, so it's funny that you'd mention that.
Hey, buddy, not bad.
But
I thought you were going to say that's how you got your degree in archaeology from tag team.
No, the degree in archaeology took the lobotomy. They gave me the old Jack Nicholson treatment, and then I flew over the cuckoo's nest, and now I can dig in the dirt.
Okay, well, listen, what were you trying to text me about? Because I was on a plane, and then I was balls deep in AI nonsense, so I didn't fully understand, but I knew it sounded urgent.
Well, I got the Quest for Ancient Civilization conference coming up May 1st through 3rd, and I just figured that I'd want to talk about that, and I wanted to. I've got it here on my saved pictures here. I don't know how to. It's on the studio, but it's May 1st through 3rd down in Sedona, Arizona. It's a big old thing. It's gonna have me and a bunch of other people, Randall Carlson, Billy Carson, a bunch of people babbling about this kind of stuff. And the thing that I'm going to be covering that I knew you would like was the elongated skull cover-ups. It's got to the point where, I'm pretty skeptical. I know you're aware of that. But it's got to the point where I got smoking guns of not just Google's AI and shit not finding stuff that's easy to find actually if you do proper research, but flat out the academics saying, you know what, man, we've got the information, but you can't have it.
What does that mean? Why can't you have it?
Oh, well, they tend to say it's because of repatriation and indigenous beliefs, and
that's such a bullshit cover to make sure you can't find shit. If anybody's still talking about indigenous shit, if we have any respect for indigenous people, we probably, and I'm just going to throw this out there, we probably wouldn't be allowing the Gaza genocide and a war. We really don't give a shit about that. So everybody really Shut the fuck up saying that.
Well, it comes down to it's funny too. It's like they repatriate the skull and then they're like, oh well, the Hawaiians, for example, this perfect example. Were you aware that about 9% of the ancient Hawaiian skulls had been modified by their parents? They weren't born with big weird skulls, but they were for some reason changing the shape of their kids' skulls, and nobody ever talks about this. And if you look for pictures, they won't show you because the cultural reasons. But if you
because the cannibalism that they also don't want to tell you about, yeah.
But if you work in the right place, they'll tell you. They'll show you.
Yeah. So man-eating cone heads pop up yet again. Is that what you're telling me? Yep.
Honestly, if you would have asked me a year and a half ago what I thought these things were for, my answer would be a whole lot different now, because it's like, well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. This was just preparing your next fucking meal, man. You shape that kid's head a little bit to the left and then soak him in some white rice.
When I had Mark Windows on, he was showing me that stupid, the Pharaoh Akhenaten, that the statue of him. He's got that weird long head, and I suggested that he was so inbred that like a Habsburg, that you're going to look like an alien eventually.
That's
right. Weird shit. But he said, or it's an idealized sculpture, as in the guy doesn't look like that, but they're idealizing him to look more like a fucking long cone head snake, which I hadn't considered. But if people are deforming their kids' heads, what's the purpose of that?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I honestly think it is emulating something.
I do too.
There's no question that, like in the Pacific Northwest, for example, another thing most people don't know, when Lewis and Clark got to Longview, Washington, they saw at one burial site with 3,000 plus burials with elongated skulls. They were above ground in canoes, and they all had elongated skulls. The entire the entire Columbia Basin, all of the Indians west of the Columbia were known by those east of the Cascades as flatheads, because they all modified their skull unless they were born as a slave. And the descriptions of it are horrible. They say that it'll make the kid's eyes bug out of their head like a rat caught in a trap. I mean, it doesn't sound comfortable.
But you grow into it eventually?
Eventually, they about a year later, their skull starts doing that. Just takes on that shape. Like there was a Chief Comley who was as famous as Sacagawea in the mid 1800s. Lewis and Clark met him, and he had a massively elongated skull. It's way elongated.
Yeah, well, I really can envision, like, remember in Malcolm X when he was potato conch straightening his hair?
I do.
I feel it's an equivalent of that, of like, a certain kind of racialism that's not so much skin color based as skull shaped and size shaped, right?
Yeah, I would honestly, yeah. I mean, it's in a lot of areas. Like in this area up here, they were so ubiquitous. Every tribe did it, but they all did it a little bit different, kind of like ritual scarring. It's a way to, you're not going to infiltrate my tribe just because you learn our language. Your head ain't the right shape.
Sorry if I'm trying to look smacks my kid, okay, to be successsul.
They did believe that it made him smarter and that it made him blessed.
That's where clavicular is never going to measure up, because you can hit your face with the hammer all day. Nobody wants your round head.
Old Stewie Griffin style. Whack, 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 whack.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, they got to slam that kid sideways and get a nice. You want a nice. Well, I've heard this conehead shape going back to ye olde Atlantis, because when I had Jason Giorgiani on a while ago now, he used to have posted all his old Atlantis. He would do past life. Now he don't push that like that, and he doesn't talk about it. Yep. I don't think he'd deny it though. But I remember it's very interesting watching, because a bunch of people that have these Atlantis, and again, I disclaim that I hate Atlantis. I always have hated Atlantis, and everything to do with it, I've always hated. I couldn't put my finger on why, but I bet you I'm sensing that it sucks.
That's the food they serve there.
The food, and they all got them conehead. I'm an old flathead. Now, if I brought this up with Danny Jones, if my taint print is ever cast, the Smithsonian will cover that up. You can bet you. You bet you.
Of course they would.
If you see one of my old school taint on that, oh man, giants walk this earth. This predates NBA, but
your old school taint is the giant.
Yeah, because now they have the microplastics, kind of like dire wolves down to dogs. Like I have and that's just because of not man-induced shrinkage on people. Everybody's been modified, right, for a long time now.
Oh yeah, let's let's put it this way: long before we were doing plant and animal husbandry, we were doing it to our own selves.
Yeah, right. This is just called husbandry.
Well, or wifery, depending.
We're doing wifery to us.
Now we're getting all fucking phobic with this. We need to be careful with the gender. It's called free.
Well, I don't know what making your head into a butt plug does. I mean, maybe I just said it.
And it's certain people have certain fetishes. If you're into fat chicks, it might make it a little easier to please her. But,
well, you know how Dan Aykroyd's a real classic wackadoo kind of, like his original Ghostbusters script had they were in space and there were ghosts of aliens in space and shit.
Oh, really?
That was his original script, which is way closer to the things they say now, leaking out of these little programs. And Coneheads. Now, you can see a recent interview with him. I don't know where to find it, but I saw it with him and his dad talking about how they did all these like weird rituals in the barn in Canada. He's a heavy. He seems like, yeah.
I know he's into a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but Coneheads, remember Coneheads was like, is a funny, like that guy has all kinds of like, he studied this kind of shit where they're talking about Coneheads. And I'll bet you that's why Coneheads is it. Because I make fun of this shit when I learn about it. What am I supposed to do with this? The ancient race of Coneheads being covered up by pointy head academics.
Pointy head academics. No, that makes sense.
Coneheads at that school, if you ask me.
Aykroyd is the kind of guy that would try to get the word out on something, and some things.
Nothing but trouble. You ever see that?
One of my favorite movies.
I think he's throwing in real shit about areas of Pennsylvania, as goofy as that movie is.
Yeah,
or definitely Arden, Delaware.
Yeah, interesting. I hadn't even thought of that, but yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of his. I think it's sad that it's so like it didn't land better because it's tragically underrated, in my opinion.
Because there's it's got early footage of Tupac when he was still gay, and it's got Tupac was gay the whole time, idiots. Okay, good for him. By the way, nothing against it, but he was a gay man that was cast as Tupac.
It was cast as Tupac.
Well, his name's Tupac. His name's Tupac. I don't think that's a fake name, but all these guys, he's just Black Kurt Cobain. They make templates of people they want you to want to program you with. Okay, so like Elvis, as you can recall, is a huge programming template. Well into the 90s, they're putting out movies where like, I want to be like E, right? I want to be just like Elvis. That's mass social engineering.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so that's what all that Tavistock shit is. It's real Conehead shit. And then you're supposed to take that on, and then as you don't have a dad or whatever, as everybody doesn't have a thing, you look to these templates. Elvis did have a dad, by the way. I thought he would just live with his mama. That's not the case. He had both parents there.
Oh, really?
But yeah. Anyway, that's how they've been programmers for a while, and a big reason they cover this kind of shit up, which is I wouldn't believe you, dude. A year ago, I would be like, I don't care about what. I mean, a year ago, I would say that. But then I'm like, what is it that you don't want me to know about this stupid thing that I wouldn't have even cared about?
That's just it. And the cover-ups get crazy, Kurt. Like everybody knows about the skulls in Paracas, Peru. And there's like 600 of the damn things down there. Well, Rockefeller in the 30s bought 4 of them, paid $40,000.
Well, that's not a good sign. Already a bad sign.
They were displayed in the Met. They were displayed at the National History Museum. There was no photographs of these very public displays, even in the newspaper articles and all that. They were repatriated, but the Peruvian government doesn't know which 4 they are anymore. So if you want to know the 4 skulls that Rockefeller cherry picked, I'll tell you what happened. They never fucking left New York. He repatriated them to another collector who was right fucking there.
Yeah.
And my point here is you got 600 skulls. We know some of them were people emulating something. They were copying another hominid or
and the others are something.
Some mutant McNugget even. Who fucking knows? It could be just one guy that had a weird head that was an Einstein.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's much bigger people than us. That's what I'm going to guess. Because I'll tell you why. When they did the Fed, another Rockefeller, great Rockefeller thing, that prick Rockefeller put his, what are those Indians from Florida, the big tall white ones, where the women sacrifice a baby to the chief. on a Cucina, or I don't know if it's Cucina, but on this altar, and they would hit it. Blanking out. They're from Florida.
Seminole.
No,
Seminole
no.
are the only ones I can think of from
The
Florida.
ones on Jekyll Island where you can see big bones of them still.
Oh shit! No, I don't know.
Shit. Do you know, Mark? I'm blanking out. Sorry. I'm getting to be an old judge. Mark might know. But they were like very light skinned and gigantic. You know those famous ones.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Okay.
So he built his cot when they're doing the Federal Reserve plans. They're on Jekyll Island, and it's right on these Indians, their exact village. And he has his on the cheap. He has his built on the altar where they sacrifice the infants.
I'm not surprised. I told you about that place that had 3,000 burials here in the Pacific Northwest in Longview, Washington.
What?
This is when I told you about the 3,000 elongated skulls that Lewis and Clark.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this was all in this place called Mount Coffin. Mount Coffin was the next white guy that showed up there was the son, his Lieutenant Charles Wilkes. He's the son of a member of the Skull and Bone Society. He shows up there, does a bunch of goofy astronomy up there, and when they leave, the mountain caught fire and all of the skulls and stuff were lost. That place was now Mount Coffin's gone now. It was mined and raised all the way down. There's photographs of it that look partially altered, like somewhat man-made. The legends in the area talk about it being hollow inside, but the company that bought it raised it to the ground, says they used it for gravel, and now you still can't go to the place that it was. And this is the guy that did all this shit that started Longview and stuff was Robert Long, who was a well-known Freemason, designed a whole bunch of shit around the country.
Robert Long, right? Okay,
who looks to go by R.A. Long, Raw Long. And if you look at the layout of Longview, Washington, it's a fucking pyramid. And those streets were paved with the rubble from that fucking Mount
And that's
Coffin.
why we have so many of those streets laid out Masonically like that, like Gary Wayne was talking about, where you always have a certain kind of church on the east, one in the west.
That's right.
Because it's only a couple people doing all this.
And that's just it. And so many people, when they hear guys like you and I have this conversation, they're like, oh, well, this is crazy. Nobody believes that. It's like, no. Look, man, I don't believe that it does any fucking good. No matter what gravel I put in my front yard, I don't think it's going to change shit. But I also don't like to go eating cheese pizza and shit, right? So I'm a different brand of person than the rich motherfuckers that found these towns. And
by the way, the people that pay the Rockefeller name that keeps coming up, that pays for the science, who gave us the invention of the term pseudoscience. That's from the Rockefellers. You know, it's just some asshole's term they threw together for Rockefeller initiated things that are competition to get rid of them. Now, I'm sure there's lots of pseudoscience. A lot of it came from the Rockefellers, actually. The idea that I'm supposed to trust a scientist who the president isn't in control of being the president. You think the scientists that do this are not at the behest of a Rockefeller or any one of these rich assholes, just like a president? So if you haven't figured that out, you're too much of a spurg. I know it sounds like I'm talking to Flint Dibble specifically, and I am.
I am. Speaking of Flint, and this dovetails right with what you're saying. Well, when I was doing the videos about Flint's debate with Graham Hancock on Brogan, one of the things that I covered was metallurgy and signs of it in the Ice Age. So I talked to an ice core specialist, which there's only a handful of these guys on the planet. I spent an hour on a Zoom chat with the guy, got to make sure I had my ducks in a row. As soon as I publish my information, Flint reaches out to him. Dude waffles, but doesn't fully retract, but gives them enough that they can say that I'm full of shit. This guy
was he afraid is the name Dibble that much of a fucking...
This is my point. There's about 12 guys in the world that can do what he does, climate science. All of our information on that's filtered through these guys. I've always been very skeptical of the climate science denialism. I've always just been like, look, man, I'm just going to let the experts handle it. But I know that at least one of those 12 will fucking turn on a dime if an archaeologist that's not even in his field fucking bitches at him. So what's he going to do if his boss says something?
Yeah, of course. And by the way, we know that was all horseshit because nothing happened they said would happen. Dude, again, can't say this enough. I was a Jehovah. We're a doomsday religion. The end was supposed to come it was like any minute now. It's about to be Armageddon. Okay, that's 1977. They predicted it was famously people didn't go to the dentist and all that shit because they thought God will fix my teeth in the new. You know, you've heard the stories. Yep. That's really embarrassing. That one time I can think of was really embarrassing. I can think of 5 times the science told me that through Bill Maher or Neil deGrasse Tyson. And neither of those assholes neither of the science communicator nor the dipshit. None of them were right about it. They were all, they didn't apologize. They didn't go, oh, Jimmy Dore show, we showed. I used to go to people that were like, didn't think climate change, global warming, the thing they said when I was a kid. We fucking changing the titles. Now we call it climate change because blah, blah. None of them go, oh, I was wrong. I said to people that didn't believe in it, oh, I hope you're right. Because I thought they were idiots. But guess who was right? The idiots. That I said that too. So I'm delighted to tell you were right. You know, I'll be delighted to tell you. All these assholes have careers just like that Ehrlich fuck that just died. The guy, the overpopulation guy, that's another billionaire, another $1 billion idea that just gets pushed down your throat by these people. And it don't matter their expertise because they got no balls. So they got no identity to stand up like, no, I do this for a living. You know what I mean? Like their ego is subsumed into the collective at every level of this, except when you get to Mr. Rockefeller and whoever's cutting the checks and you Epstein sends you money.
And a lot of it too is hilarious because they know full good and well that when you make exact predictions like that, you're really opening yourself up to being scientifically wrong. If you read papers, you'll see they seldom do these sorts of things. But
yeah, I've gotten very into hedging language.
Yeah, and that's how scientists tend to talk. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, that's how a scientist, even something like gravity, they won't say, we know for a fact that gravity is related to mass. They will say, all the data currently indicates that gravity is directly related to mass. However, and they will quickly tell you, no, this.
Right. I remember this vividly, dude, that things are a theory, but they're technically a fact, but they're a theory. And I'm like, this is a strange, but it was because there's a lot of funding wars going on. That's all the shit.
Well,
at
and
the end of
also,
the day,
it tells people that the limitations of it. It tells people that that's never settled ever. Science is never settled. And so when these guys, they could come along and say, okay, here's the problem with carbon dioxide that we're putting out of the atmosphere. Here's what we're going to do. This is directly how it changes things. Hand people the tools and walk away. But the thing is, they figure that the rank and file person's too stupid to understand that. So they just say, big sun, big hot, big fire, you die. And then wonder why everybody's like, hey, this is bullshit.
Well, the press, so if I'm an oligarch, I'm going to own the science. I've heard quotes of that, like the WF, like we own the science. I've heard people say that shit. I'm going to own the science, so I'm going to own your Neil deGrasse's and prestigious university, and I'm going to own several media outlets. So that way, my scientist, my bitch scientist, who's a fucking punk that is smug and just because I defer, some jerk off guy with an egg-shaped dick, okay? And I go, come in my island, science man, and now you're cool and you do better than the other people. And so now that dipshit thinks he's doing science. But if I also have media, the job of taking the hedging language and turning it into definite language, I can put on my media people. And I have everybody compartmentalized so they can feel like they're adhering like a Ford assembly line. I did my part, and the car gets made. Most people really gravitate to that, which is why they're annoyed that they have to think outside of their department. That's how bad school is for people. But anyway, I want to understand why this horseshit is this necessary to cover up that a few people are related to big giant coneheads, big giant heads.
Honestly, that's the cover up is so insane that there's the
you
island.
Wouldn't really believe it unless they were this bad at it.
Oh, dude, the island of Niue, Niue, a teeny little island way out in the middle of the Pacific. It has elongated skulls. Well, it's the other way around. They look like Stewie Griffin. They were 96. One of them's 96% wide as it is tall, which is fucking insane.
Skull?
Yeah, except for
pictures of this.
No. Oh. I've got the recorded history of it. And if I go to look for the pictures,
this is like UFO stuff, ain't it?
Even except for the difference here is they'll flat say, we have the information, we just won't fucking show you. And this
they don't want you getting ideas.
This kind of thing goes all the way. You know the NAGPRA, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, and this basically says that any Native American bone in the United States belongs to the tribe that it came from. Shouldn't have none of them in universities or private collections. There's one entity that's exempt from that. I'll give you fucking 3 guesses.
The Mormons.
Nope, but you'll guess it if you think.
I don't know who.
Smithsonian.
Oh yeah, right. And that's not a government institution, right?
No,
it's private.
I mean, kind of. It'd be kind of like the Fed's not a government institution; it's private.
Yeah, right. Wait, the Smithsonian, but you're right. The Fed is a private bank.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's
so the Smithsonian is also private.
Yeah, but it's private, ish. Like the Fed is a private.
But so it's just China state capitalism they call it, which is we're supposed to fear China because they're communism, but we have all the same shit.
Yeah, just more. I can complain about it more without fear of them breaking my knees backwards.
I don't think that's true. I think you can complain more there at this point. I think
really?
That's not true. In fact, it's going to be real untrue as the news tights. It's just you haven't complained about the right things yet. Where do you live somewhere and start saying maybe we shouldn't go to war in Iran? And I think maybe that was bad what Israel did. Don't say that. You might find some real problems now.
Yeah, that's that whole mess. You talking earlier about mind control, about people like us being manipulated. Politics, in my opinion, is the number one way they do that, because they get people that most people are one issue voters. They get people with one thing. It's like, what's your feeling on gun control? And that's like, okay, well, guess what? Since these are all your colleagues, these are all your friends, your brothers in arms, but they also, this is your opinion on abortion and your opinion on the border and your opinion on the economy, and they put it all together.
That's just normal herd making people.
Yeah, but in this country, in the UK, they fucking new parties rise and fall every fucking election cycle, and it achieves nothing. And at the end of the day, they get nothing each time. Well, we achieve nothing either. Right?
That's right. There's only going to be one 4-class. The feudal system is you get the 4-class system is all you get, and you're going to have a fake. We're going to pretend it's not that in different ways around the world, but it's always the kings, priests, and artisans and peasants. It's always that, and they're trying to. AI is supposed to get rid of the artisans, so we can go right to peasants. King. That's what the AI is for. But I don't know. Ain't no computer. Grok did write 2 of those jokes in that Epstein. The thing about what are we 12 years old? I don't know if Grok understood the joke it was making, but I like it.
But it worked. That AI stuff's funny. I mean, as a content creator, on the one hand, it's like, oh man, it sure does suck having to compete with a bunch of bullshit schlock. On the other hand, I mean,
it's me. I can make any stupid idea I want with the whole production and edit on which I did on my phone yesterday.
Yep.
So that's a great tool. That's like having a sketchbook that comes to life when you make your stupid cartoons in it.
That's right. It's like, in my thinking is it's like, on the one hand, it's competition and it's a tough tool to compete with. On the other hand, I sound a whole lot like my great grandpa going, that goddamn Henry Ford made my prize mare worth nothing.
Is that true?
Well, no, I mean, it's AI content creation.
No, I mean about Henry Ford and your grandfather's car. Is that a thing?
My great grandfather's prize mare, right?
He said it was Ford's fault.
Well, no, I bet it was, he lost money on his the cars, made it where horses were no longer.
Henry Ford's one of the early 15-minute city guys. You know that, where he went down to Brazil to have a rubber farm, and he would have his employees like Jim Jones. He had a whole Jim Jones setup, and I can't remember where he went, but rubber didn't grow well there, so it was a big problem. But he paid very well. He said, think of how ahead of his time. This oligarch guy, who he pays better than the other people, right? And they all get healthcare and stuff, but then he's like too much in their lives. Like he had people making sure they don't smoke cigarettes and shit, and like, oh, Guyana, that's right. Thank you, Mark.
Jim Jones style. There we go.
My Nephilim flathead assistant. He's a wealth of this knowledge.
My Nephilim flathead assistant.
Mark is 8 feet tall.
He escaped Guyana barely. Him and that dude from Reading Rainbow.
What guy from Reading Rainbow?
Did you ever watch Did you ever watch the movie? The 1970s made for TV movie.
LeVar Burton is in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
they put him in one of the outdoor heat boxes things.
What's that hissing sound in the back?
Oh, I was just gonna say I feel like Chunk, so I need a baby. Like Chunk?
No, that's that. Okay, Sloth ate the Baby Ruth. Chunk is a factor.
Sloth.
Actually, Chunk
is the factor.
Is my entertainment lawyer, Jeff Cohen.
Really?
Entertainment lawyer. Well, he played Chunk.
Dude, that's crazy. He had the funniest part.
Turn off your mic, dude. Your thing is hissing like I don't know what's happening, but it sounds like the show has a slow leak.
that movie Goonies, I didn't catch it as a kid, but goddamn, the scene when Chunk's walking by the freezer, by a walk-in freezer that's closed, and he goes, I smell ice cream. Fuck, that is funny as hell, dude. I still ass.
Well, Spielberg and Reiner and all them, they really liked a nice movie with some boys getting in tighty whities at some point, or some phallic object going in their mouth, such as when what's his name Crash and the statue's dick goes in his, and Crispin Glover made that essay about where he like alludes to it. See, I think Corey Feldman was going to rat out Spielberg but chickened out. That's what I think. So that's why it was so underwhelming about Alfie. I mean, it's all gross, creepy shit, but the reason that stuff could be so ubiquitous in Hollywood is because someone real big is behind it, you know? And I'm talking about the full a lineage of people, conehead, butt plug head PDF files, basically.
Yeah, it's fucking that shit honestly well, you are the crazy uncle, and I frequently called the crazy uncle, but you can imagine at Thanksgiving where the crazy uncle's been telling you the TV's been watching you for the last 20 years, and then he shows up and he's like, did you see the NSA fucking said it? They have been watching you with the TV.
Well, good. I'm glad they are to keep me safe. You sound like an asshole.
Somebody's got to keep me safe.
But they may keep it. Yeah. How come we have to worry about ISIS being here and Iranian? Do you see the shit they're saying? You spied on me for 30 years and you didn't catch any of these people coming in? Will you just watch me jerk off and you don't look at anything else?
No, I was just trying to catch your kid when nobody was watching.
And yeah, possibly.
Fucking Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. That's where things got really insane. It's like,
I'll make a prediction, dude, because this Conehead thing. So what is the thing that really convinced you a lot about these Coneheads, would you say, from how you said, like, fuck this to like,
when I saw they're actively covering this stuff up. I can show you a map from a paper made in 1938 that is more comprehensive for where these things were than a map made in 2016.
How? On here? Or is it
like it's on I'd have to pull up the fucking image. I didn't.
Can you?
I can. It'll take me half a second.
We'll see. We're like, it's like archaeology for me to try to show basic
you're
pictures
good.
On here.
You are fine. I will.
We got it.
What? You got it, Mark?
The wrong mic on.
All right, I'm going to look at some live chats and
yeah, absolutely. It's a super chats.
Okay, so let's start out with Cyclone Bravo. GTJ, fuck Poland for all the injustice they did to me. What is PLNs? That's not like dollars, right? Well, I don't know what they did to you, man. I'm sorry to hear. I'm glad you give me some Polish money. Spirit Food Stamp. Mom let me stay home from Skull for this. Dial up school. Yeah, you don't have to wear pants to it. What's next? There's an Oprah vid called Vicky Devil Worship on YouTube. I saw that about the Jewish girl who was forced into devil worship and cannibalism and sacrifices by her bloodline family, and it traced back to so she's a child of Sabbatean Frankus that Oprah was having. Now keep in mind stuff like Oprah and all those, because Bryce Taylor from Thanks for the Memories book, Current Affair, all this shit I used to watch in the 90s, they talked openly about all this stuff. But once they did the clean sweep of like satanic panic, then we were never to speak of this again. But when this was being aired, they wanted people to know about it. So because Oprah, by the way, I fully believe is a human trafficker 100%. I would bet anything on that. Fuck Oprah. I know she's a piece of shit, but I didn't know she might be a human trafficker, but I think she is. I really do. And so they do that little revelation of method, soft disclosure shit. It's no different than like David Grush telling you the stories he heard. This bitch did it on Oprah. And they get it out there and everybody forgets about it. It almost like washed it out of your memory hearing about it. It's really something. Because I saw that back in the day with my friend Jesse Fukas. We were watching this on Oprah. We're like, oh my God. All right, what's next? Okay, thanks. They were skull maxing. That's right. They were dirty skull maxers is what they were, Abramovich. That's a great point. Thank you. Thank you for £2. Was that $4 American? Dan is the man. Also, did you see Mark's interview with Dr. Zhang? It was very interesting. Mark, my Nephilim Patush assistant of the show. I didn't. However, we thought Professor Zhang was quitting at that point because he was being attacked for predicting the Iran thing, which I got to tell everybody is not that great. But I think he has very smart shit to say. But the prediction of that is not that crazy. On Jimmy's show, we were talking about everybody I know that knows how bad Israel wanted to go in there was the Greater Israel Project includes it. BB every year is like, can we go kill them?
He announced his retirement on my show for some reason, but
and then he didn't retire.
My family thinks. Well, he said he's going to retire within the next few months potentially. So, but we have Dan's screenshot here.
People ask if I think he's CCP. I don't give a shit. Why would I care about that? What's the lie he's telling me? And if he is telling me a lie, that's fine, but I want to know what it is. You have to tell me specifically where I'm being lied to. Remember, on Oprah, they showed that Sabbatean Frankist chick talking about the filthy things, her Satan worshiping, just like a Christian Satan worship, the very same thing in Judaism, openly said it, and it still is like, ooh. So the data is still good. All right, let's look at this here. Oh, my God.
So that's the different places around the country, around the world, excuse me. This was a map made in 38. And as you can see, dude, all those different places have squished skulls. All play squish the skull with their kids' heads.
There's Giorgiani's, what do you call it? The Persian Leviathan. There's your Leviathan there of oh my God. Look at that. Look at the South America. Mm-hmm. Isn't that funny? Because that is part of the Greater America Project where we had to like steal Greenland for some reason. And we're going to take, but I don't see Venezuela. But the Technate, that's not too far off from the Technate map, barring Venezuela.
No, it's if you look, it actually looks a lot like the Kelp Highway hypothesis, which is an idea of them jumping down the coast with boats to settle the Americas. I mean, it looks a lot like this was a coastal idea, right? It looks like the people along the shore,
bunch of pointy-headed Phoenicians, all
across the fucking world. But in particular, if you look, you'll see Hawaii right there in that little blown up spot.
Mm-hmm.
There. Now, if you go to the next map, we'll see that there is Hawaii's omitted.
Mark, go to the next map if you can hear me.
Can you hear me? There we go.
Flat Nephilim head can hear this.
I mean, you can see right above Teotihuacan, Hawaii's missing. There's numerous areas that are missing, and the sites even basically this map has numerous areas that are missing from the one before, and this is done. It was 2016, I believe, and the other one was 38. So almost 100 years later, and they're losing information. They're forgetting things. Things are not showing up, and it's not like we don't have the same written records we had then. A lot of this stuff comes from written records, and the skulls are in the hands of private collectors, far-flung corners of the world. It ain't like they go dig up a new one most of the time.
Right.
So this is very much, God damn it, this is very much proof of a cover-up, and especially when, again, all the way from Hawaii, all the way down to Maori, they have the same bullshit argument of, we can't show you pictures because the indigenous people don't want you to see pictures of their skulls.
No, go fuck yourselves with that.
Dude, that's way too far of a distance. There's some Amish that believe you can't take pictures of them or they'll fuck with their skulls. And the Mennonites right fucking next door that share most of the same beliefs don't fucking share that one. Some of the other Amish don't share, and they live.
Why do you think that is? Because they got their own occult in the Amish that people don't know about. Russ Dizdar, because insulated communities with a lot of incest and child trafficking, they actually have an issues with that in certain areas of the Pennsylvania Deutsch. They also have their own black magic, like you go to like a Hexenmeister. That's why they have those symbols on their barns, a lot of them.
Yeah, I know they're pretty goofy as far as their beliefs go. I know that they get kind of black. Some of it's weird too. It's just like they like feeding into the modern society, taking from modern society, but choosing and picking and choosing. It's just kind of weird.
Everything comes out of this German fucking, I don't know. Germans have given us a lot of weird wooden puppety shit and
some fancy
oddball
tanks,
beards,
showers.
Either beards with not enough mustache or too little mustache, not enough beard.
Bad artists.
Well, that was
Austria. We can't.
That's Austria, and that's different. That's like the fancier kind.
But my point was though that the Amish, if the people in Pennsylvania Dutch country can't agree on the idea about photographs and representations of their self and their soul. How the fuck am I supposed to believe that the Maori, the Hawaiians, and the fucking New Zealanders all believe the same shit? No, fuck you, man. That's a cover, and especially it really is pronounced the best when it comes to the Paracas ones, because those skulls that Paracas has no problem. Peru has no problem displaying those skulls, but you can't find out those ones that Rockefeller had. Those 4 that were cherry picked by him. Yeah, sorry, we don't know which ones those are. Same problem exists. You just can't. If you seek something that looked really, really cool, the measurements are nuts, or it was cherry picked by some rich motherfucker with sketchy stuff, you cannot see the fucking picture. Fuck you. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll bet you if you have certain levels of clearance for certain things because of how these fucking families are they're so embedded in all of our everything, aero and military industrial complex. Oh, hold on, let's see. Oh, there's Mark Passio. Yeah, and the really rich oligarch. I wonder where Larry Ellison's island falls in that map of those things, because he owns that one island, and I'll bet there's a lot of evidence of stuff there. I'll bet you. Both cannibal and I think the guy's name's Craig Lunt or something. The guy he wrote a book called Silicon Satan.
Oh man, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Yeah, and it's his supposed. No, he could be just a big liar, but it's written like a guy who was like trying to write about stuff that happened to him, but was too traumatized, so he tried to make it fiction.
Yeah,
and it does to me read like that. It reads like this is like a little bit too close to someone, and they try to like get some distance from, and that's what his claims are. It's very interesting, his story, because he says Larry Ellison claims to be something called Hossitanian, which is I guess Luciferian, somebody else would call it. It's not the same as a Satanist is like the dumbest. That's universal. Anybody who's like a Satanist is like they're either stupid or they're maybe they'll be scouted for something better if they demonstrate, but it's such a chump level of thing to be a part of. It's like Hot Topic or something, you know?
Yeah. Sammy Davis Jr. said that he hung out with LeVay for a while, and he's like,
yeah,
it was fun to do drugs and fuck white chicks, but that was about all we did.
Well, I bet you they did more than that, is what I'm guessing.
I'm sure he did,
it wasn't.
Or he wasn't cool with the first time they did something goofy during one of those things.
I think that's what it was.
I'm going to go back and hang out with.
I think. Look, I'll be real positive about it. Okay, best case scenario, he got a finger in his butt from some dude he wasn't expecting. I was like, all right, this isn't cool. That's the most positive. Well, I mean, usually not at I was in a normal, my high school gym shower. I wasn't.
See, I was fighting for my milk in jail.
Oh, really? And you got? Wait, you were fighting from? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Were you born in prison, or you mean not from your mama's daddy? You mean like milk from?
Well, yeah, they gave me the milk carton.
Where were you in jail? And the guy pulled the ultimate Trump move of a finger in the butt.
He was Korean, and they do that like that little fucking.
He did goncho to you.
And I spilt my.
Yes, milk. I've heard of it
twice.
And this is in prison.
It's terrible. Gave me an extra 3 weeks.
Where?
It's here in Spokane.
Oh, Spokane, Washington.
Yeah. Well, in jail, not prison, but the same thing.
Yeah, okay, the county. How and what was it for?
I don't remember. I was blacked out.
Well, the charge.
The charge. Stealing milk, probably.
Well, were you stealing skulls? Were you taking skulls that don't belong to you?
I was trying. Okay, full disclosure. What I did is I was trying to take some kid and bind their feet and skull to experiment. I figured we don't know about feet binding. We don't know about head binding because we don't have anybody to test this shit on. So I was going to mitigate the human rights violations, test it all on one little toddler, but apparently it's against the law or something. So
yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's a crazy thing to do.
Oh, I didn't want to eat them.
Well, I'm in the Epstein files, and can I tell you, there'll be no charges for doing that. They'll just keep voting like assholes. I bring it up on stage. People get so weird at me for saying, because I am in the Epstein files, but just because he was invited to a show that I was doing for Comedy Central, which makes me laugh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for his birthday. So I don't know if he saw me and had the best birthday ever. I don't know to this day. But I didn't do nothing. I just I was on this show he got invited to. But even if I did, what are you assholes going to do about it? Nothing. You're going to keep vote. You can go vote in the midterms or whatever the fuck you do. Go watch football. Yeah. You're going to do something, and there's going to be no arrest for the horrific things. just like that comp super chat. They brought up the Oprah episode. That was real ass shit. You see anything happen with it? No, you're not even supposed to talk about it now. That's what these files are. The files are the cover up. The files are the cover up, and this is how revelation of the method works, because one black guy at the airport in Atlanta said something. I mean, I did on podcasts. I tried to wisely use my whining about things, but that guy, it's just this one black guy says, "Are you all crazy?" And he's right. That guy was fucking right. I didn't think he'd be black. I think he'd be look like me and Dan, an old uncle, white uncle. No, he looked like some young black guy that was saying the right thing.
Yeah.
Nobody else. And Roger Avery brought it up on Rogan's show. Everybody just moves on. And they're like, you think Iran's going to keep, who gives a shit? Yo, you think we're going to find out the missing general with the spaceships? Who gives a fuck? They eat babies. It's in there. They openly just put that out, asshole. And they had the nerve to put black lines over the names.
Yep.
To spit in your fucking face even more. The fact they covered up that this goes on and any of it's covered up, you should be, I'm done with this. Everybody.
Your tax dollars paid to have those names redacted. Fucking don't.
The government was shut down, Dan. So that's a job like being a notary is to. I found this out that when I went and did a show, I made a joke about it, and I was right. People who were not working their regular government job got extra work redacting Epstein files. Doesn't explain. Well, do you redact your memories of what you just did? Wow. Is somebody out there that redacted Epstein files? They'll tell me some shit with I don't know what the law is, but I feel like I should know exactly.
We need a Snowden 2.0.
Yeah, well, why does that guy still have to live in Russia if this is the good country? The guy that told you the truth, you hate that guy. I don't know who I'm talking to. But Joe Kent just resigned because he lone black man in the airport yelling about the Epstein cannibalism. That's Joe Kent. He's getting smeared now by jerk-offs. But that guy has some kind of integrity. That's all it means. That's all it means is he has some integrity more than a lot of people. And there really should be a lot of people going, this is crazy, I'm resigning. But do they? No.
I honestly think a lot of it is kind of I think it's a kind of a pressure release valve, the way they're releasing this and stuff.
Of course.
I think they're afraid of the Civil War kind of attitude that's going on in the country. Everybody's been pissy for the last fucking 15 years. And this is, you take a guy like Bill Gates, who you can't say for certain, but okay, it's looking pretty bad for Bill. He's new money. When we were kids, he was fucking pretty much a nobody. He was programming traffic lights for the state of California. He was fucking
who? Wait.
Bill Gates.
When he was programming the California traffic lights?
Yeah, in the 70s. When the very first home computers came out, they didn't have keyboards. They didn't have fucking monitors. It was like registers. You'd flip a thing, paper tape reader. And Bill Gates and a guy named Paul Allen, I believe it was.
Yeah, right. Paul Allen
wrote BASIC for it. Okay. And they got robbed. If you look up Bill Gates' open letter to hobbyists, he fucking screamed and called them a bunch of pirates in 75, 76. Mm-hmm. He was nobody. He was poor. He's not poor, but he wasn't rich.
He wasn't poor. Well,
he was nobody.
He wasn't exactly nobody. You see his dad and grandpa. His grandfather was a fixer for either Rockefeller or Carnegie. I think Rockefeller.
Really?
Yeah, remember Rockefeller? Okay, so the old man Rockefeller, the one that Scrooge McDuck is probably Carnegie, right? But Rockefeller, everybody hated old fucking decrepit billionaires because they were pieces of shit. So when Bernays and PR and all that shit got invented, that's what really started turning that around. And Bill Gates's grandpa was a fixer for Rockefeller.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And he's the one. So that's why you hear the press that Bill Gates. The Pirates of Silicon Valley. One guy was a cool hippie. The other guy was just some nerd in his garage. That's the bullshit that oligarchs tell you.
Yeah,
it's more insidious than anything religious people. Do you not like Islam? Well, this was a more insidious story than anything you didn't like about. Pick your religion you don't like, Christianity, Islam. They first give you a false background on these. Joseph Smith, he was illiterate. No, he wasn't. He had a very good education. It's a huge lie.
Well, now you got me. I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole now because there's a guy named Gary Kildall, which all your tech nerds right now will be screaming in the chat, going, "Oh my fucking God, he's gonna talk about CPM." But it was the very beginning of home computers, and Gary Kildall and Bill Gates were in competition for producing the operating system for IBM, for Big Blue, and Bill Gates ended up getting that. Gary Kildall, like this, the story is, he went flying that day.
Bill Gates' mother worked for IBM. That's where his mother came from. I forget what his dad did. Philanthropy. So
yeah,
you know,
I'm going to dig into this because it's always been like, from the computer historians nerds perspective, it's always been like this one ill-fated flight that fucking changed history forever. But
that's their fucking bullshit they put out. Like there's no conehead skulls.
I gotta look now.
Dude, it's all connected, I'm telling you, and it's all because why is it all connected? Because of very few like Rockefeller names here. They're the seed of most of the information that's bad that we still have to this fucking day.
Yeah, it's even the computer stuff. I mean, are they going to try to tell me next that Max Headroom was actually Matt Frewer as an actor and not computer generated? Because I'm going to fucking lose it, man.
Oh, that was Max Headroom's name. I used to have a crush on that chick from Max Headroom. Remember that? Remember?
Oh, fuck yeah, Fiona. Woo. Not the redheaded Fiona.
That was the last celebrity as a, I don't know, the dark-haired British chick on Max Headroom when I was a little kid. The last time I felt like a crush on a celebrity, was the last one ever, was that one. And then, you know, obviously I grew out of such nonsense because I don't know these fucking people. Like, why? What kind of an idiot has posters of chicks they have a crush on that are famous on their wall?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to just get the ones that I thought were cute when they were walking on the street, but they got mad when I took their pictures, let alone when I tried to have them blown up. But what do you do?
Well, listen, I'm telling you, that's not, no wonder a Korean man inserted his fingers into your rectum.
You don't know like what he identified as.
They don't like, yeah, no, I know Washington is the capital of zoophilia. I'm not saying BCL.
Mr. Hands, he was a Washingtonian.
That should be on the license plate. Number 1 in gentlemen's zoos, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The jokes are up here all about Montana, but yeah. It's the same thing. No matter where you go, it's just a stone's throw away. You're going to call them sheep fuckers, right?
I look, with this, now that these Epstein files came out, and you know, it's like when I see there's a guy who like makes fun of Flint Dibble. I forget his fake Flint Dibble name. They'll just go on my Twitter. That makes me laugh.
The AI guy, Flint Dribble, yeah.
Oh yeah. And so all these people, it's the same in every industry, dude. Like, who fucking gives a shit about? You know, like the Oscars happen, you know, nobody, even though one of the, oh, no, it wasn't the Oscars, the British one. You see the British award show where the guy with Tourette's kept screaming the N-word at those
I saw the clips. I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah, the clip fucking had me in stitches. My son sent it to me.
Dude, I'm always like, are they doing this because they know no one's going to watch unless something happens? You know, like a Kanye interrupting kind of event. And that one is like, that's like if I was writing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's like such a crazy. It's just these things are falling off and no one gives a fuck. And they're all these oligarchs bought them. So they bought archaeology. They bought the climate change thing you're talking about. We were covering this on Jimmy's show over the last few years. So I'm going from 100% that's a real thing and you're an asshole to think it's not, to like, are you kidding me? This is as reliable as the COVID jab. Great.
Yeah.
And you know, now where we're at is it kind of like Sean Patrick Hazlitt told me about it. The OODA loop they do. It's something from the Air Force where it's like you orient and readjust. They just throw a lot of bullshit out and keep moving like a shark. That's all they do. It's like the ultimate con man move. And it works because, you know, bring up COVID to people now who are wrong about COVID. They still don't know masks. Masks never did anything to stop COVID. If anything, they were harmful. So Fauci was right the first time he said it, and then every other time when he said it again, but not the times when he said the opposite of that. He was right. But try telling a friend that who thinks, and they'll look at you like you're an asshole. And
like, you're an asshole, yep.
And I go, dickhead, I didn't make a mistake. The only guy who made no mistakes on COVID was Joe fucking Rogan. Fuck you. All the experts.
So he's taking horse medicine.
Yeah, right.
That right there was one of the most. That was just like, dude. Yeah,
it just shows you what cows you are. First of all, Are you mad at? Why didn't you guys look up who his doctor is that irresponsibly would prescribe horse medicine to a major podcast celebrity? Because in your head he stole it from a horse. You're not really thinking too hard about it. You just know it's his own fault, but that's a prescription medication. So if he was given that by a doctor, how would he be at fault for talking about it? That makes no fucking sense.
Not at all.
Oh, you're a stupid bitch. I'm talking to an ex-girlfriend right now.
Right.
Sometimes I go, who am I talking to? But I'm talking to a specific ex-girlfriend in mind who's like, I am mad at him. I'm like, why, you stupid bitch? A doctor told he has better insurance than you do, you dumb bitch. That's an ex-girlfriend I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Yo, has a better quote ever been quoted? Dude, that's okay. So
real quickly, if I may, about the masks. I think that was another one of those kinds of a little bit of a psyop. It was like,
of course it was.
You've only got, well, I mean, as far as the whole thing goes, like you've got.
How obedient are you? Because some things are going to be coming out we're not comfortable with.
Not just
so we got to see if you're a bitch ahead of time.
Well, how many hours do you have in a day? And what do you care about here? We're going to shut down your schools. We're going to shut down your businesses. And we're going to put this thing in your face that really isn't going to affect you a whole lot, but it's going to be literally in your face. Do you have time to stop me from closing the schools and stop me from closing the small businesses and fight the masks? No, you're going to fight the masks, and we're going to do these other things. I'll tell you right now.
Well, the mask
bring back some of those businesses. I'd wear the mask every day if it.
The mask is to make us more like China, because the year before, 2015 when I went to China, because they had bird flu. Some people always just wore masks like a crazy, like how you see in America now.
It was just in my mind. It was just sleight of hand, like a magician doing this so that you don't look over here. It's just, you've only got so many hours in a day. You're going to spend all your time screaming on the internet about the masks instead of about. Imagine all the fucking seniors in high school that, like, the last year they were almost to stay at wrestling or something, and now they just go fuck you, go play Fortnite. Like, whoa, dude. Instead of complaining about that, I didn't see many people bitching about that. I saw them bitching about masks. Mask.
Right, because you're bitching about if you still have faith in the thing or not. So it's a real either or. It's like an AIDS ribbon or a yellow ribbon around the oak tree.
That to me, a lot of it too is it's just literally in your face. You can't forget it. You can't forget it.
Well, a good friend of mine wears two masks now, and when I see him, it's so uncomfortable. My dude, Judah what a funny, great guy he is, and he wears a mask, and I don't have the balls. I'll say it on here to you, but it's so weird that he's wearing a mask because I know he's not stupid at all. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, he must be crazy. I don't know. I don't want to ask him, dude. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If he transitioned to a fake woman, that would be so much easier to deal with because I've been through that a few times.
I do.
Okay, let me read these because there's
of course, man. You got super chats. Read them.
Proclavith says, don't forget kids, mouth off. No, don't mouth off. You're supposed to push their head down. And not if you're a kid. If you're a grown man, I'm saying if you're a grown man. This is like a special forces kind of shit, dude. It's not a thing to joke about.
I've been got classes for it.
I've been telling people that Derp with Kurp is expanding my taint, and you can't stop. That's right. This is one of the most taint, and that is science. I haven't checked it, but it is. It's been so long for Derp, my smurp grew back. Don't worry, we'll get that circumderped off your fucking body. What do you make of the supposed disappearance of Tartaria and supposed giant races? Well, the giant races is probably a thing. The disappearance of Tartaria, no, there's still a town in Romania called Tartaria. The Tartaria that you're thinking of from the TikToks is fucking stupid. It's a loose confederation of people not fucking with each other. I don't know why it's being put out as some kind of.
Tartaria is the Eastern European version of We Was Kings.
No,
we were everywhere. We were the samurai. We were the whites. We were the blacks. We were the Asians. We were all.
What a great way that Flint Dibble could never have come up with. What a great way to put that, dude.
Well, thank you.
The presidential chefs that cook jerky are silenced. Both employees cannot be in trouble. That's right. You got to think of this as a network. Oh, that's a great fucking point. This requires it, and Nathan Reynolds said this first on Emma's show on Imagination Podcast. It's not just rich people, dude. You need a whole infrastructure of people that all buy into the same thing, and across class and race and all that. You need a whole infrastructure. They have it. It's wearing away very quickly. They don't care because this is generationally planned. So when Generation Alpha, whatever those little small tainted half an iPhone people are, they have no expectations of anything, healthcare, a house. They'll be
40% microplastic.
Yeah, and you could fight with your mommy and daddy and your the baby of the family who's like a millennial or a Zoomer, and you could all bicker about your fucking cunt identity and then die. And then a new generation will do what these assholes want. That's the scam, dipshits. So I don't know who I'm talking. Okay. Let's see. Kurp, please look at Shoshana Struck, rightly kissed in Illinois last week. You know her mom, Nosik Neil, last live 2-minute spiel. Okay, I'll text. I will text Nosik Neil, who I have to say gives me a really good information. I love that guy. You know Neil from Nosik Informant?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and him used to get along real well. We recently had a bit of a fallout.
Because of why? Ammon Hillman?
No, we were arguing on Twitter about something, and I don't really care if it's some enemy of mine or some rando on the internet starts calling me names or shit. But if you're my buddy and you say I'm stupid or something like that, dude, yeah, you know what, man, you ain't gonna be my buddy for long.
Oh man, Twitter is a very terrible force. I have to go. Okay.
Anyway,
any plans on coming to Ohio? Yeah, all the time. I do. What do you call it? Hilarities, which is a great club in Cleveland. If you know another club, I guess ask them to have me. I don't know.
How about Spokane?
I'll have my manager. What did you say?
How about Spokane, Washington?
Oh yeah, I don't know what I do in Washington. I was doing Tacoma Station. That's what I was doing. But I would do Spokane. Is there a club?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Kurp. AI sitcom Fervent Chan YT use AI to create a sitcom parody of Witnesses from Karen Reed. Who's Karen Reed? I don't remember. So that's my only issue with that. Okay, what's next? Where can I get the Schoolhouse Rock Kurp shirt, my guy? I'm making those. So those are designed by my friend Todd James, who's like a real artist. And so I want to cut him in. He just gave me the logo for free. Todd's like I had no idea how big he was for a long time of knowing him. And then he was like, "Oh, you can have that painting." I still don't have it because I'm afraid to but I find out it's like worth like 50 grand. I'm like, Jesus. So I want to, so that's a big favor Todd James did to me to make that design. So I'm going to work it out with him, and I'm just getting that shit in order. I mean, people are making knockoffs of shit all the time now, which fucking sucks, but I don't know what the fuck I could do about it. All right, what's next? Soon I'll have it up soon. Daryl oh, okay. Thank you, Beth. Daryl James. Yo, that's weird that you spelled it like that. Let me take this picture of this, and then because I don't want to write.
That's another fake G spot. We already know the female's G spot's fake. We know the G male.
Well, this is this has been a very controversial episode. Okay. Is it fake? I feel like I find a new one every day.
The female, it's like England and France and Korea, and the female organism. It's all fake.
Yeah, to call it an organism is one of the funniest things I've ever heard anyone say. The female organisms, where you have one of your organisms.
I know. Look, you're trying to say that those aren't fake, but look, man, I've been with dozens of chicks, and not one of them have come. So I know for a fact that it's fake. It's just not.
Right. I wasn't sure you were doing a bit until that last line. So good for you. A good bit, because you got me hook, line, and sinker with that one. I'm like, oh my God. That. Does Dan think there's no such thing as a female organism? These bitches go on their pyramids and they got nothing else but organisms.
She says, "Hey, I tried to take her home. She says, "Hey, I'm on my menstrual cycle." I said, "Well, put it in the back of my car." What?
Okay, so I took a picture of that email because I want to talk Daryl James, and I would go look him up. It's with one R and one L. I'm not telling nobody to believe nothing. I'm just telling you to listen to the story because it was I'm usually bored by people that are like telling me horseshit. So if you tell me some horse shit that's like fascinating, that's as good as if you told me a real story, I feel like. And his story is worth it. So I'm going to email him because I would love to talk to him because bizarrely, the wackadoo shit in his story that I heard now going back 4 years ago, dude, looking up alien shit for a joke. It's insane the correlations that are in his story to other things, and I'm not telling you I believe his story because how could I? But it's just so weird, dude. I can't forget it because it was so weird. Okay, yeah. The Dodge brothers sued Ford for paying his employees too much. Is that right? Unrelated at the time, Dodge's logo was the Star of David. Well, I mean, the court should have ordered them to change it to that after suing someone for paying too much.
You could say that's unrelated, but I'm seeing a fucking joke right there.
Well, you know, the only thing that bothers me, I always say a gripe was with like Zionism, which is not just Israel has right to exist. It's a little bit more fucked up than that, even though that's fucked up. No, it don't. Jews I like, and you know, just off the top of my head, David Tell, my favorite comic, that's one of the most generous motherfuckers I ever met in my life, who would out of his pocket, because the studio didn't pay you right, would pay you another $5,000. He would just hand it to you. That's just like a good deal. That guy's always been. So I despise but there's stereotype of Jews that are like that too, dude, that are just scrupulous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's unscrupulous. There's a thing where it's like, no, that's not fair. You should get some more. Like that also exists. If you don't give that credit, I think you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
I would be dishonest to pretend that doesn't exist. So I would never do that. All right, what's the next one? Dan, have you explored Aquatic Ape Theory? Elaine Morgan's 17-minute TED Talk answers Lloyd Pye's questions without any Sumerian tablets. Now, I thought that maybe wasn't true, but what do you say?
The Aquatic Ape Theory, there's a possibility, like the hairless part of us and our lung capacity and the fact that we swim, they all add up. I honestly tend to lean more on the stoned ape theory, because to me, it's like our brains are really I don't think it's just to me, our brains are the differentiating factor. The fact that we can swim is cool, but the symbolic thought, and, I've totally never taken a hallucinogen in my life, but from the people that have, they told me that you tend to see things very symbolically and very metaphorically and very like in a storybook kind of thing, and with an overarching theme from start to finish, and there's ins and outs, and these are part of our group, and those, and seems to me like stuff that humans tend to do that animals don't, seems to all be related to that.
Okay, this next message is really I'm happy with. Okay, map of the Skull-Vicular. So Skull-Vicular. Now that may be the next opening of the next Over the Kurp is Skull-Vicular explaining how to make your skull. That's like Clavicular, and then Peter Thiel sipping out of his like nipple head that he fucking makes. Skull-Vicular is great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gaddis. Hey, Super Sexy D, what's your take on the giants in North America?
At first I was a lot more skeptical than I have been now that I started digging into stuff. There is one image that I found up here in the Pacific Northwest from a place where they were looting elongated skull burials from, and there's a photograph of a skull that's like half again bigger than it should be. And this isn't one that's on giants.com. This is one that's hosted in the Oregon State University. Because it's not so much bigger that it's clearly obviously a giant skull, it doesn't get touted as such. But that's exactly why I look at it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What the fuck am I looking at here? This is a real photograph. And
yeah, you got to have street smarts as well as, and when I say street smarts, I just mean understanding that just because you might be sincere, everybody else is not automatically and might have other motives, and they don't want to tell you. They want to like Joe Kent, the guy who resigned because of his conscience, but Tulsi Gabbard, the big anti-war bitch, didn't resign, did she? No. Joe Kent did. He's going to be singled out, and all the other punks that are in there, like I don't know if Joe Kent understood that. I know he was a Christian Zionist. I don't think he understood that they pay for someone like Nick Fuentes to come and sabotage him when you run for something. They pay for that. They own both sides of the dialectic.
They absolutely own both sides. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, like Harlan said, everybody knows that quote.
Well, not the kids. They don't remember.
Big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a small club, proportionally speaking.
Proportionally speaking, yeah, but it is a large club. There are thousands of members, but you're not going to be one of them anytime soon.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't invited. Sometimes friends of mine are, but I've never been invited to either Bohemian Grove or like Duncan gets invited to like all kinds of wackadoo shit. But I think he took a 23andMe and they found out he had some kind of important blood or something. All right, what's next? Kurp, you should remake the movie Coneheads. I was trying to think of something with that, but I don't know what, dude. I'm trying to figure it out, and I still got to finish my Alan Dershowitz rap. Okay, what's next? We already saw that one. What? I wonder what Poland did to this guy. Tupac Amaru Shakur. Now this was interesting. Was from Royal Peru bloodline. That's very important because a lot of the human smuggling and plasma-based medicine harvesting comes out of Peruvian people because of their supposed demigod blood from Amaru, which America's named after. Lashane Parish Cooks was his real name. Lashane Parish Cooks was his real name. I bet you. I tried to send it like 5 times, fucked up. You probably told me that. You must have been who told me his middle name was Amaru. I find that very. You know any Peruvian shit, Dan?
Yeah, that's the Paracas skulls, the ones that Rockefeller bought. Peru.
Well, I'm sorry, I should have been. I mean, like their pyramids and Amaru, and yes, you said that.
Yeah,
before,
the candelabra of the Andes. You know that one?
What is that?
It's a big. It's kind of like the Nazca lines, but it's a really big one that's it's just look like a big candelabra basically on the side of it. It's visible 12 miles out to sea, and it's about 5 miles from where those skulls are. They were part of the seafaring culture. I mean, it's one of the reasons that when I'm going back to Longview here soon, I'm looking for. There's a couple of areas that we've got hints about potentially being some sort of lost structure there. And the thing is, anywhere where you find those elongated skulls, you tend to find some sort of megalithic architecture, and not in the Pacific Northwest. But the deal was, by the time the Pacific Northwest was being heavily settled, we already had laws about destroying Native American sites. Like St. Louis, for example, was Mound City back in the day, but they just completely razed all the mounds to make it farm field in the city. So they wouldn't let them do that by the time they got over here. But like I was telling you earlier about Mount Coffin, I think that they knew it was a native site, and so they just looted it and then destroyed it, so they didn't get in trouble.
Boy, this pops up in fiction, this theme a lot, and particularly H.P. Lovecraft, which I swear to God has popped up now more in the last, I guess, on my feed. But there's some bizarre connection with him writing about these mounds, and people like your Peter Levendas and your who wrote Peter Levenda wrote some Necronomicon that they say is the real one, but he wrote it. You know about that?
Yeah.
There's something real big with that. And Nathan Reynolds said his parents, they would explore those mounds, and they found something that let them get in contact with something. And that's what their family's familiar spirit was something they found there. That map. Can we look at that map one more time?
Yeah. No, that's the less one. The other one's why it's not as pretty. That one's got the more data, which is insane. Almost 100 years later.
So Peru is let's see. Hold on, let me look at this. So Venezuela is the bottom one, right? And Peru's in black above, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and he said his father took him there because they worshiped the Nahash, they called it, the serpent, who was Amaru, and he said his dad took him there, those fucking pyramids when he was a kid, to tell him all about how it's this important thing. But Lake Havasu is where they're smuggling people up through the most to harvest them for shit. Peru in particular. I found that very interesting when he said that. Now I'm telling you, I'll tell you all these people who said something to me that was interesting, and I can't tell you how many people I don't believe them, and I don't give a shit what you believe, assholes. I'm just telling you a thing that was interesting. Someone told me that I thought about. Nothing else. Although Nathan, I don't think that guy's lying to me at all. He didn't sound like he was lying on the phone when I talked to him. I've never seen him on a thing where he looked like he wasn't lying, even though he's saying some crazy shit. But what am I supposed to do? Oh, it's impossible what he's saying, so it must be. No, I don't think he is. Yeah. So there's something else. Okay, it's either he's telling the truth or there's something else where he thinks he's telling the truth. But that guy ain't lying, and I've seen too many things connect from what he told me.
Yeah. Now we talk about the mounds. Those were mostly in the Midwest of the United States. Now, if you look at the map right here, you can see that area is heavily covered. But if you look at the newer map, then you'll see that the Midwest is not very covered at all.
Yeah.
You see, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. They are deleting this data. It is actively being erased from our fucking records. These are both peer-reviewed papers. Okay.
Do they have to do it slowly because someone's going to notice? Is that what it is? Or
I think what it is that they just don't put the information out. And then I guess slowly would be the right way. But I think what happens is they end up relegating it to conversations like ours, and then they can just put the tinfoil hats on our head and call us fucking.
Well, I don't have no respectability. I'm a real clown, so I feel like that's I'm starting from nothing. So
well,
shit.
They've twisted everything I've said about Flint to the point where they think I'm public enemy number one.
that's just within the realm of your profession, which I have to tell you is filled with the biggest pussy nerds. Like, I'm not an archaeologist, but if I was, I would be bullying everyone that you know, dude. I'm telling you, like, these guys are such fucking humps, and they got no. My boy Dave Smith, I couldn't be prouder of. My sweet young Davey Smith, who debates these fucking nerds so well. I feel he shouldn't even do debates because I'm not for debates technically because I don't feel like it does shit. But Dave has that academic memory I don't have. I have a memory based on trauma and laughter. Like if I laughed or I was upset.
Yeah.
So I don't care about these certain details that an academic is going to want footnotes on. I'm going to just cast that aside because I want to get to the fucking point. But it's very important to be able to do that, which Dave Smith can absolutely do. Why? Because he's a comic first. So I've already if you stood and had people like, hey, we hate you, it's not like that big a deal unless, you know.
It's funny, I've actually been working on a little bit for open mic night here at the Spokane Comedy Club. I watched some comedians there, and then there's another place has a comedian thing and has a comedy show, and I watched some of the professionals here in town, and I was like, well, goddamn, dude, I know I can do that. That was horrible. No offense, sir, but that was terrible. I can do better.
Yeah, so, that's a lot of people are inspired by being better than someone who sucked, and good for you. Yeah. But, you know, if you get into it, it's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing. I mean, everything's all right. I got to go pee, so I'm going to play this insane waste of time that I made on a plane based on this comic Darius Bennett, who I know, and I took a Christmas picture with him at the Mothership Christmas party, and then I decided to make something really elaborate out of it. And then I was like, why don't I use this next time I got to take a goddamn leak on my podcast? So
there you go.
Enjoy it. Here you go.
Django, have you fought the North Pole crew? Django, Santa's elves are coming for you. Candy war's on, oh, the hate goes on, oh. Now you're beat, and you crush them all down, Django. All destroyed, Django. Django, unjingled. No.
All right, enough of that shit. I had to come up with something to like clip where every time I have to take a leak.
That works. But no, one real quick thing. I don't want you to think that the whole reason of me doing the stand-up bit was just because somebody sucked. Jay Anderson from Project Unity was pushing me that direction when I was at North Carolina.
That son of a bitch. Why would listen, I don't tell nobody to do it. You know what I say? Don't blame me.
Well, when I've done some public speaking now, which is a whole lot different than editing yourself on the internet, like the Quest for Ancient Civilizations thing I was fixing to do. And the number one thing that drives me nuts about my public speaking is the thing that comedians have to work on, and that's pacing. And so I'm like, if I can practice writing a bit and delivering it and work a crowd a little bit, I could probably do a whole lot better at my.
You got to practice while under the influence of a variety of substances to see which one works for you. There's a lot to it. It's not an easy job, Dan.
I've been doing a variety of. Let's put it this way: if I quit all the substances that I did right now, like my body would be invaded by parasites. They've been just like standing, waiting for the chemicals to leave, and they encircle me. And the second that all the chemicals are gone, I'm just going to be dead from infection. And
I need you to get in touch with your cone-headed ancestors, with your Caucasoid cone-head.
Those Tartarias.
All right. I got to do Jimmy. I got to go do Jimmy Dore show in a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, plug what you want to plug before we go.
One more time, seriously. Could you if you don't mind putting it on screen? Really
thank you, Joshua.
Yes, thank you. The Quest for Ancient Civilizations in Sedona, Arizona, May 1st.
Okay.
It's going to be me, Billy Carson, Randall Carlson, Luke Caverns, William Henry, David Hatches Childress. There's other people that are going to be there too. Last time I was on stage with three people that had been on Ancient Aliens and Gaia TV and stuff. And so there's a real wide variety of opinions. Like they asked why they hadn't explored the thing in the Great Pyramid yet, the newly found empty void. Most of the guys were saying stuff like the government knows the secrets already. They don't have stargates. I referenced tourism. So you get basically the entire gambit you're going to see.
Where are we at with that underground radio thing that they did with the pyramid where they found
we still have the problem of it's proprietary. The software that they're using is proprietary software, so you can't double check it without digging in the ground, but they are finding some interesting stuff. The frustrating thing is it's in Egypt is digging a hole in the ground in Egypt it's harder to dig one in Egypt than it is to dig one in LA. And I know it's hard to dig a ditch in LA. So,
well, do you know that other site not far from the Great Pyramid that no one's allowed to go to? That's a military. What's it called again?
I was just looking at the thing about it too.
With a K or something.
Yeah, not Karnak, but the one with the big ass fucking hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The big fucking hole in the ground. I was just looking at the thing about it.
Say it again.
Karahan Tepe.
No,
yes.
You're talking about Karahan Tepe? No, I thought we were talking about Egypt.
No, I'm talking about Egypt.
Yeah, it's the one that's the military sites on top of.
Yeah, and it's an Egyptian military, and no one ever talks about that on anything. But no one can go there. Someone started digging; they had to stop real quick, right?
Yeah. It's there is no question. I mean, no question, but Egypt has been notorious for hiding secrets since the fucking time of the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And when rich people go there now, Napoleon went there, and he brought in hundreds of people to go and dig up all these secrets and stuff, and it kicked off what we're still doing today. It's funny that they say there's nothing to see here, because clearly there is. We keep finding things that are mysterious. We keep finding things that are of interest. We keep finding things that they can't explain. And at the end of the day, what they do is they just tell us that we're dumb. Well, you can make one of those vases with a stick and a rock. It's like, oh,
yeah. Sure. By the way, when we say they, that is some dipshit billionaire that is funding everything. And then the jerk offs, several cutouts away from him, who don't want to know because they get their money from that dipshit. So that's they, a series of oligarchs. In case you're wondering when I say they or anyone says they, a bunch of fuckhead oligarchs who can exercise their will with their billions of dollars anytime they want. That's at the end of the day what it is. I really don't care about their races and religions and all that, other than that's what it is. And so if anything good that you should know about comes out, you think they're going to just for free? It's proprietary, assholes. Fuck. Anyway, I don't know what I'm yelling about, but let me this real quick. Bad Art Show, which my girl Jenna does, that I'm on. The Bad News edition came out also, and my Danny Jones episode is on right now, which I forgot to retweet. I have to retweet it, and I'm gonna be on
I'll have
Jimmy.
to check that out. Danny's awesome.
No, he was awesome, dude. And his prop guy Todd made that Mooney bullet crown for me that I wanted so bad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was all they're FedExing it to me. I was like, "What's the league? It's dummy rounds to make the crown," but I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't gonna fly home with it. It was pretty fucking crown. So I really appreciate that. Great time with Danny Jones. Check that one out. And then March 27th, come see me at Soul Joel's. That's I always have a good time at Soul Joel's. All right, guys. Look, you got derped. I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks again, Kurp.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming.